We're heading out to the trails to do some winter fat biking on the Farley 7. Do a little bit of a review. So you can probably tell this isn't any normal Farley. It's got a little upgrade. The tires are huge. They are the Vee Ruber Snowshoe. Oh, this looks icy. Oh, that was ice under there. It's the Vee Ruber Snowshoe 2XL tires. They are definitely overkill. The Farley 7 usually comes with Barbagazzi 4.7 inch, and the Snowshoe 2XLs are 5.05 inch. They're huge. There isn't really much of a downside to them, other than the fact that they're 3 pounds heavier than the Barbagazzis. 3 pounds is a lot. Other than that, this is the 2017 Farley 7. I've ridden quite a few Farleys. I owned last year's. There's some fresh snow and some ice underneath, so I gotta be a little careful. Woo! Nice. So this particular model is the second year they've done the same frame. Last year's Farley 7 was purple. Exact same frame. Hydroformed aluminum, carbon fiber fork. All in all, a really solid bike. So one of the things that Trek does that rounds this bike out to be one of the best fat bikes in its category is they pack it full of features and include important things like industry standard axle widths. So it's a pretty big deal. And if you're looking for a fat bike, it's definitely something you want. You want 197 rear axle width and 150 front. So the reason why you want this standard is so you can fit really wide tires. There's no way a 5.05 inch tire would fit on an axle standard that's not this wide. This bike is a 1x11, and it's definitely the way to go. 2x10's old. People think they need it for that extra gear, but you can get a big enough gear range these days to run 1x11 or even 1x10. It's just eliminating the front derailleur, eliminating any hassles you might have with that front derailleur, and I mean a little bit of weight too. I'm not going to get into the details of the specs necessarily. I did a walk around of the bike, a little overview. You can check out my video on that. Another nice thing about the Farley is you're getting through axles front and back. That's another thing that's pretty standard now. Just adds a little bit of stiffness. Bit of a climb. The one thing about these tires is they grip insane. And that's why most people go to a fat bike. It's for the grip, the extra volume in the tire, and primarily the flotation. If you're not riding snowy trails or sand, you're honestly better off just going with probably a mid-fat. Mid-fats are a lot more fun to ride on the trails than a fat bike. I mean, some people will go fat bike just for the extra volume, a little more cushion in the tires, which I guess is a good reason. Now, there's a lot of schools of thought between PSIs for fat bikes. Most people say to run them super low, 3, 4, 5, 6 PSI. Well, maybe not 3, but basically the higher the volume tire, like on a 5.05 tire like this, you can get away with a lower PSI and not get any tire roll. But honestly, I like to run my fat bike tires a little harder. You'll run them soft. Oh, which way am I going? Softer if you need flotation. If you really want to float. If you really want to float on top of the snow or sand. But if you're trail riding and there's only an inch of snow, you don't need to run them super low. There's a nice balance there, but most people run them really low because you get a little more traction. Once again, if the trails are pretty hard, you don't really need that traction. You have enough with a massive tire like this. I did find it kind of funny how one of the features of this bike is internal cable routing and control freak. The only cable that's internally routed right now is the front derailleur, or sorry, the rear derailleur. There is no front derailleur. So the rear derailleur is internally routed. It goes in at the head tube, just behind the head tube, and it comes out about a foot below that. So I mean, what's the point of that? I mean, it is nice to have the control freak if you're gonna run a dropper, because then you can internally route that as well. So another awesome feature to this bike is the stranglehold rear dropout. It allows you to slide the rear dropout to fit different tire sizes, to fit different wheel sizes. That's one of the reasons why you can fit this 5.05 inch tire on it. And then also you can go to a 27.5 tire, which is pretty awesome. It gives you that option to run a lower profile tire, a faster tire that has less roll, and also a bigger wheel size. So a faster rolling diameter, also less rolling weight, so that rotational mass is decreased. Like these tires are 3 pounds, you go to a 27.5 by 4 inch tire with a lower, shorter sidewall, a lot lighter, a lot more nimble. So it gives you the option to race a bike like this, which if that's what you want out of it, you can have something for the flotation, something for the racing and the trail riding. That's pretty awesome. So to sum it up, we have carbon front fork with 150 through axle, suspension corrected. We have 197 rear through axle. You have the stranglehold rear sliding dropout, which also allows for single speed if you want. We have hydroformed aluminum frame that's light and nimble, 1x and SRAM components, and that internal cable routing, which may be irrelevant right now, but if you put a dropper post on, is really nice to have that internal.